Hello, everyone. My name is Michael Liu. Welcome to my Capstone Symposium presentation for the University of Washington program on the environment. So my capstone project is called Unhoused People as Park Users, Their Perspectives and Needs. Homelessness is a major and growing problem here in King County, with over 40,000 unhoused people here. That's about 2% of our population. And that number might be even higher. It's notoriously difficult to get an accurate count of the number of unhoused people. A different estimate put it over 50,000 people. Public outdoor space is especially important to unhoused people. Previous studies identified that unhoused people rely on public parks for a variety of benefits, including privacy, survival, improved mental health, access to water, and nighttime darkness. Despite this, very few parks departments work to better serve unhoused people. So we can see this is the graph of the results of a survey done by the National Recreation and Parks Association of various parks department heads. And it specifically asked about the way that they view unhoused people and their department views unhoused people. And they found that the majority of parks department heads, the majority of respondents said that their park department does not work to better serve unhoused people with regular programming. So that's 60%. And that a good chunk, 45%, saw unhoused people as purely as a nuisance to other park users, and that the best response is simply to remove them. So most park agencies rely on evictions to manage unhoused people. This is the results of that same survey. However, sweeps are problematic in that they are associated with an increased likelihood of death, especially among unhoused people who use drugs. So over the summer, I worked for King County Parks as part of a community outreach internship. And this gave me a kind of a better view of how unhoused people are viewed within King County Parks and kind of the status quo of the situation. The park managers that I spoke with expressed sympathy for unhoused people, but generally felt ill-equipped to help them. They also emphasized the ecological damage caused by people living in parks and concerns about drug use and safety. So this is one such park that is here in King County, North Green River Park in Kent. It once hosted a large encampment over here in the forest until King County Parks removed the people living there in 2023. So this led me to my research question, which is how do unhoused people interact with and utilize parks, and how can parks departments best serve them? So the way that I went about solving this was that I interviewed 10 unhoused people in a library in South King County with the help of a peer resource navigator. The peer resource navigator connected me with some unhoused people that they work with regularly. But after the first couple of interviewees, I used participant-driven sampling, where the previous participants recruited new participants to join the study. Each participant was compensated $10 for their time. And to protect their safety and privacy, I refrained from asking them their name, any personal details, or about any criminalized activity. So the results are that unhoused people generally felt welcome in parks, or at least use them regularly. So out of the 10 people that I interviewed, 9 responded that they do feel welcome in parks, more or less. Now, I included some quotes here to kind of get a little bit more nuance into the picture. A lot of people mentioned that they did feel welcome in parks, but simultaneously they felt perhaps judged by other park users, or sometimes one person mentioned that sometimes people will specifically kick them out of the park. And obviously those are not very welcoming, but generally overall people felt they felt welcome in parks. And then why do unhoused people use parks? So there's mainly 3 reasons that I found throughout my 10 interviews as to why unhoused people use parks. Those are safety, socialization, and hostility in other environments. And you can kind of see these general quotes as to what that kind of explain what led me to these 3 main themes. And one that I felt was especially poignant was this quote from a gentleman. And he said that I feel less unwelcome in parks than, say, sidewalks and street corners, and of course, private property. The spectrum of unwelcomeness. You have to understand that when you're homeless, you're unwelcome basically anywhere, more or less. And so that really speaks to how parks first of all, are kind of an area of last resort for unhoused people, but also they are very important in that they provide simply a space to be. Because a lot of other spaces, you can't really be there without being trespassers, as this other person talked about. And so, what do unhoused people want in parks? Unhoused people want more amenities of all kinds in parks, including showers, food distribution, lockers, trash collection, and private areas. The biggest thing that was repeated over and over again was they expressed a need for clean working bathrooms that were also open at night. And so, what does all this mean? So, parks cannot solve the housing crisis. Only accessible, affordable, and dignified housing can do that. They can, however, provide important services and show care for unhoused people. It would require further engagement of unhoused people and recognition of them as park users. And though several studies examined the way that unhoused people use parks, none of them interviewed unhoused people directly about their experiences. It was always asking others. They asked parks professionals, they asked law enforcement, they talked to social workers, but never to the unhoused people themselves. And unhoused people's perspectives on public spaces is almost never consulted in their management or design. So that's my presentation. Thank you so much for watching. Special thanks to Tony Campbell, Amy Gopian, Helen Beck, David Lee, Heidi Conditil, and P. Sean McDonald, without whom this project would not have been possible. Thank you very much.